Hey everyone, today we have this abandoned box truck deep in the woods that was used by people as a shed years ago. And today we're going to be clearing it out. It is jam-packed full of stuff you cannot even get in there. Today we're going to determine what can be recycled, what can be donated, and what is just plain trash. It says Jack's Cheese Corn Twist. And take a look at the license plate. Even says Jack's from Vermont. This company is still in business, but this truck is real old. I believe it was, yeah, look at that, last registered in July 1992. Everything here on the side, it's all going to trash. Got a lot of liking on the side of it. We can climb up on the roof as soon as I get to the front. Yeah, I gotta mark all these trees too to be cut down. This door is seized. This one is not going to open. Got to get in through the other side. Front tires are still there, sunk in the ground like 10 inches. Take a look at that. A lot of dry rot. Got a little step stool. Look at the front of it. Somebody used plywood because the windshield must have been broken. I bet this is one of the old trucks where it has a split windshield. And it says Jack's in the front. It's been out here for years. Look at that bumper right there. That thing is so strong. About a week ago, it was snowing around here. And I was only going 15 miles an hour. I slid off the road and I got a bunch of damage because they don't make things out of durable metal anymore. Oh, gotta slow it down. Look at this, got a latch here. Okay, where's the little clip for the, here? Yep, there's the clip for the hood. No engine. Still got a few of the hoses, the air intake. Some animals probably been living in here. Release this kind. There we go. All right, let's head inside. I love Walden, Vermont. As soon as they open it up, it smells like mold and mouse droppings. We're up north, it's always humid. Hantavirus is almost non-existent up here. No worries. See a bunch of empty boxes, but you see there is stuff in here. We could find something cool. Jam-packed, like I said. I can't walk in here. We're gonna open up the back doors. That smells really bad. I gotta start opening doors. Look at this. Oh man, mice are living up there. Still got the steering wheel. Gauges are still in here. I didn't give you guys a view of the roof. The roof is all moss. All right, let's start digging. As you can see, there is a lot of stuff in there. I got to start getting a bunch of giant garbage bags. I got to start sorting this as I'm going through it. But I'll show at the end what there is. Most of this stuff, you can see there's still some good stuff in there. Like there's a lot of pots and pans. That's just going to be donated. As far as, I don't know the condition of the furniture. That'll probably just be burned in the fireplace. A lot of recycling here. Which these boxes, just break them down and bring them to the dump. Stuff like this you can recycle, but it's pretty old, the container, so somebody would actually take this if it's left out on the side of the road or something. Got right here. It's even got fuel in it. It's smashed at top, but I'm sure somebody would want to repair it. Having a little pause here. 3 bags of trash so far, a ton of cardboard. This computer's actually in the box. That's going to be donated. There's actually somebody's phone inside that case. Bunch of decorations, bunch of pots and pans. This is pretty cool. It's made out of granite. Some more Christmas stuff. There's a bunch of tins. A brand new board game still in there. This cane is super old. This stuff here, it's all going to be donated. What is this thing? I don't even know. This thing, it weighs a ton. It's not aluminum. It's like stainless steel or something. It weighs an absolute ton of, like, is that a giant wok? We can get in here now, but look how much more. We're only like 20% done with this stuff. Got so much of it. All right, there was a stack of Tupperware bins. Right here's a whole bunch of tins. I'm sure somebody will want them. Whole stack of blankets. They're covered in dog hair and stinky, but can easily be washed. Here's a bunch of just garbage clothing. That's going to be dumped, and I can use the container to donate stuff. This right here is more just junk. More junk. Stuffed animals that are covered in mold aren't a big hit with donations. Here's a whole bunch of brand new syringes. There's also a box in there of used ones. It says biohazard. There's also a bunch of painkillers and drugs I found in there. That's all going to be brought to the police department today or tomorrow. Whenever I get the chance, they take that stuff to dispose of it. Now this is some stuff I'm keeping. That flag, this portable cutting board. See, it's a rubber, but you can cut. These pants, I don't even know if those are for men, but I held them up to me. They look like they might fit. Got some empty boxes now. This stuff is going to be donated. This right here doesn't look like much, but it's actually made out of cast iron. Some people like to restore that, and it is actually worth some money to somebody who has the time to go through it. This is in pretty good condition. This is going to go out there for a donation. These here for Christmas, but they're white. You can use them in a nightlight. This has a chip on it. I don't know. Some people don't care. What a bunch of stuff. Ton of VHS tape. Now what can we salvage? This thing here has a Lazy Susan turntable. I think that's some kind of spice rack. Got a little mold on it, but that can be easily reused. This thing is smashed. Some things like this can all be reused. New box of soap. A lot of the stuff doesn't seem too old. Everything I'm picking up here has a lot of safety pins in there. Get rid of the sharp stuff. Nice box. Everything else in this box is trash. We got here. Some of that's pretty nice. Brand new candle from the beach. Pretty nice. Got some cool ornaments. This thing's not too bad. That can be repurposed. This thing here can be repurposed. This is pretty cool. That thing is huge. This tape dispenser for masking tape. It's a little backpack. That's not too bad if you wash it up. Got some Sesame Street slippers, and I do have the other one. Doubt anybody will want this, but that's going to scrap. That's still nice. Oh, we got a little bit of money in here. What do we got? It's not money. They're like arcade coins. Does not want to focus on that. Does not want to focus. Why not? There we go. $19.99. Believe it or not, a lot of those arcade coins are worth money, especially if the place is out of business. This box is wrecked. That's going to a scrap collector. That can go on the street. Somebody take that. Pretty much everything in here. Nothing's shattered. All that can go out. This is all mold and nasty. This whole box is now trash. Check it out. That's cool. This big cooler from Yahoo Milk. It's in good condition. I'm keeping that. Tony's Frozen Pizza Basketball. Couple hours in, we finally have a trail so we can kind of walk in here. Got a lot of interesting stuff. There's a bunch of garden statues in there. Every single one. Part of it is broken, but I don't know why. Some people take them, and I guess they might repair them. This used to be a nice vase until it was broken. Now this is cool. This is supposed to be broken like that. A bunch more statues and stuff that can be salvaged. This right here is a box of old Christmas records. That plywood looks pretty new. And there's a bunch of shelves in here, completely empty. Like, nothing was stored in here. It's like everything was just thrown suddenly. They didn't even have time to stack it nicely. Bunch more boxes, but we're basically done. I know what's in here now. These boxes are sure coming in handy. Most of them don't have covers. Old Mountain Dew bottle. Here. Got a lot of shoes in here. There's the other one. But they've been out here so long. You hear that? They're like kind of cracking because it must get in over 100 degrees when this thing's sitting in the sun in the summertime. And this stuff's been sitting a while. It is so moldy. Pretty well cleaned up now. Everything in here is just the furniture that will eventually be sold. It's nice. It says 1920 on the backings of the furniture. Let's see. What is it right there? Boston, 1920. I wonder if that's a real Mercury mirror. I'm not sure when they stopped making them. Actually clean up here in the front of the truck. It's pretty awesome. Transmission's gone. Not rotten on the inside, like you saw the moss growing out here, but it is pretty soft. That's gonna have to be replaced. Get it down to just the moss, and I can tell there's a big dip in the roof because this area gets snow in multiple feet. All right, because I went inside. Where I'm walking now, there's like these tiny little 2-inch I-beams, but out front there I heard like a crack, so I'm gonna avoid that. There's like a big piece of wood in the front of it. So far I don't see any leaks here. Let's see what happens if we find a seam. Look at this. Inches beyond inches of mouse poops. You take a broomstick, you bang on the ceiling, you can even hear some scurrying. I doubt it anymore. I bet they all vacated now, but look at this. Shocking amount of mouse feces was falling as I was removing the ceiling. Now these aluminum ceiling panels will just be left on the street because they're not going to be used. See, they're damaged, they're corroded with giant holes through them. Insulation or any of that. I'm sure some of the stuff is insulation, but if you look very closely, the majority of it is poop. You see that? The dark pieces are poops. The light brown ones might be poops, or it's some kind of the insulation, but I think the only insulation is that stuff there that looks like dryer lint. The rest of it is definitely poops. It smells very strong in here. And I gotta put my respirator back on before I start ripping down more of the ceiling for you guys to see. And then we'll have to get this stuff out of here too. This is probably all gonna be thrown on the side of the road too. The parts in here. Or I'm probably gonna end up keeping them. That mirror over there is nice. These right here might be tricky. There's 2 mirrors the size of doorways. And those things are hard to move without chipping or breaking. Nice aquarium down there too. Probably keep that. When I first pulled this panel down, it reeked. This thing was holding like a giant bubble of water. Let me walk around to the front door and show you that way. Wow, we're so open since the last time I was here. There's so many trees missing as this thing's prepared to leave. Okay, stepping up into the front. Lots of poop. See the ceiling here just ripping? It's like corroded on the inside and it's slowly tearing. It's full of mouse nests, all kinds of stuff. Let me grab a crowbar. I'm gonna need one heck of a bath tonight after this job. Yeah, look at this. Wow. the dust coming out of here. The trick to it is you go around on the edge and see all these, gonna pop each one of these little aluminum and plastic rivets. I mean. You go around and pop them all. Then the ceiling comes down like nothing. There we go. Wow, that one went hard. Oh, that one went hard. Look at the windshield. Has to be replaced. That'll be a piece of metal roofing like the rest of the building has. Or the truck is gonna have. I hate wearing glasses with a mask. It's fogging up. There we go, popped another one. Being careful not to take down the ceiling. I mean, rip out the windshield wood. Alright, that might be enough to start ripping. Got this wire right here, keeping this piece of wall still. That's in my way of ripping the ceiling down. Probably don't want to be underneath here right now as I attempt to rip this. Oh wow, so much dust just went down onto me. Good thing I'm wearing that respirator. Alright, now everyone, watch me pop all the rivets before we take down the next giant panel. Whoa! Whoa! Poo-poo! Oh. That was a good amount. Whoa. Oh, I bet this light's holding something up. Oh, there's so much poop in there. Whoa. The smell of pee even through the mask is awful. Woo-hoo! Had to go outside for a minute, the dust storm was so bad. This panel looks like way less poop, more insulation. Still a good amount of it. It smelled worse for some reason, even though it's drier. There's no leak here. It's only leaking up there near the front. Look at this. The roof even looks nicer. Over there, the roof is all rusty. Here, it looks not that bad. You see where we just ripped that light off the ceiling? Yeah. It's another big panel of roof. Someone will have fun with these on the side of the road. Can't think of any practical use, so I'm not going to take them. It's basically the metal they have on the walls of a school bus, similar to that. It's only April 6th, but it's getting really hot inside this little truck. Outside's nice working weather, around 55, but inside here is really hot. A dead wasp. Feels kind of soft walking around in here on this giant mounds of poops. Up close look of giant poops. They're all poops. It's going a lot faster than I thought. Wow, I can't believe this thing survives the northern winters with the snowpack we have. When these beams aren't solid or anything, they're just aluminum beams, less than 2 inches. There's a mouse. At least we didn't run into babies. That's the best thing. These guys can just go find someone else. Now we're gonna start shoveling this into trash bags to haul it out. First we gotta make sure this guy's out of here. I heard mice running around earlier. I thought they all would have scurried by now. I think this is the only mouse we got around. Come on, mouse. Come on out. Come on, out the door. There you go, out the door. There you go. On. See if there's any more. This is really gross. Gotta get the respirator on. Should probably get rid of these things first. Now we're gonna try to get rid of this horrible mouse pee smell. And we're gonna spray this down and let it soak over lunchtime. Still smells good, this cleaner. Ammonia. Found it in the truck. That'll scare those mice away. This ammonia smells so strong. I'm gonna have to do my spraying from outside. Damn, you can barely breathe in here. Alright everyone, we're back after lunch, and you see this truck still has a solid frame, other than right below the pedals is a little bit rusted out. None of that matters. Alright, that windshield up here is going to have to be replaced. It won't leak anymore. That'll be all set. Just spray everything, it doesn't matter. It'll dry out. We're just trying to get rid of that smell. Compared to before lunch, it smells a lot better in here. But you still smell mouse pee a lot. Every surface has to be cleared. This is really gross. But we're coming along. Up front is all clean. Up front's all clean. Right here is kind of nasty. You got two sitting pools of... They're just so disgusting. I gotta get like a squeegee to get them out. Up top here is still clean. I got a spray up here between all the rafters. That's glue that the original insulation was stuck to. And between that, it was all filled with mouse poop. That smell's almost gone, thankfully. It's coming along. Alright, we got this thing pretty clean now. Basically now what you're seeing is just glue all over the roof. But at first, there'd be these big brown streaks. You'd spray them, you'd see them disgustingly going down the wall. Well, this thing hasn't been registered in exactly 30 years. So the mice have had a field day inside the ceilings. You could see the ceilings like dipping of the extreme amount of weight. This roof doesn't leak except just there. That wasn't water. It's just tons and tons of mouse poops. Literally hundreds of pounds of poops we had to throw out today. There's just a few pinholes up front here. No big deal. This place is gonna get a new metal roof. Up front's pretty nice. There is still a mousy smell, which should go away when it dries. We're gonna be doing one more spray down with steaming boiling water. First, I'm gonna pour this bleach around in here. Give it a quick spray to spread it around. Let it sit for like an hour before doing the final rinse. Yes, guys, I'm well aware you're not supposed to mix bleach and ammonia. The ammonia is all completely gone. That was hours ago. got a lot more strength to it than I thought. Pretty easy cutting this thing in here, see? You got the damper now. Control the airflow. This was a bit challenging, actually getting this thing together, because you saw at first how the pipes, they come open, like the one right there. That should be good enough. That works awesome. I'm probably just going to use this in a circle for like 10 minutes. Wait a second. Yeah, we do have to cut a little more out of there. It hides all the ugliness. You're never going to know how I made this hole. This is going to go pretty well. So I started off with these tiny little clamps right here, because that's all they had in the wood stove aisle, right? These screws here were too small. Look at the head of that one, see? It's not actually in. I must have broken off a dozen screws trying to get them through this really thick metal. So I went back to the store, got these heavier duty brackets. This was straight and I bent it to use it as this. And I got bigger sheet metal screws that went through the truck with no problem at all. All right, everyone, here we are on the other side of the truck. Check out this windshield. I think that looks really cool. This truck is just gonna keep growing in. There's so many little trees around it. It's what I want. I want it to be like tight growth around this truck. Look at that, all the snow must have just slid off it. All right, everybody, it's time to give you a little tour of the inside of this truck and some of the things I did to it. If you remember, this thing was so nasty the first time I ever came out here 3 years ago. Jam-packed full of people's stuff, using it as a storage unit. Full of mice. I ripped out the ceiling, removed the insulation, gave it a deep cleaning. You would never know that was in there. It smells like nothing now. And look at this, I thought this was funny, so I put a flower pot as the back wheel. Even made sure to chalk the wheel. So here's the stovepipe we installed earlier in the week. Whole truck is metal. That was kind of hard to drill through. This very, very thick metal on the truck. I just recently replaced the chimney cap because the other one was too restrictive for the stove during my first test run. At some point, I want to use this as those old-fashioned sinks like they used to use hundreds of years ago. You got to go to the stream or the well, fill it up, do your dishes, and you pull the drain. It goes through the wall of the house. Here's an old cooler. This is pretty cool. This actually came with the truck with all the stuff I cleared out of it. And in here, here's breakfast. Got some eggs and bacon. Also some bananas. Just bought it, got new batteries. Give that a quick test. Beep, 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 beep. I had to do it one more time. So down here, this is all stuff that came with the truck, but it will become useful for me someday. Nice propane burner. Got a big pot, 2 full cans of propane. That could also be used for heating in here. A bunch of various other things here. Got a microwave. There is no way to get power out here unless I got solar panels or a generator. Right here I got a bunch of kindling to start the fire, a bunch of cardboard. Right here, a bunch of wood I'm going to throw in here as kindling to get the fire going. I'm going to burn all this scrap or maybe save it for kindling for future fires. That all was in here. Got the saw to cut that up. Made a nice little table in here. Found this chair at the landfill. Got my toothbrush and other stuff. Got my camera lights. I got my bed right here. It's not that bad. It's a nice little like hospital cot. That's going to be comfortable, especially when we get the temperature in here up to like 80 degrees. Got my broom so I can sweep up any mess I make with my feet. See, I'm tracking in snow. Floor is going to get wet, but it'll dry from the heat. I got my log splitter here. I'll show you how I use that. I think this truck looks really cool like this with a smokestack coming out of it. This looks really cool to me. Throw half a stick in there so I have a good amount to move around, cook the food with. I'm pretty sure that's already cooked through. Looks very tasty. I see all the butter I put on it earlier. Everything about today is so beautiful and pretty. My traction control does not like that. I gotta take off slowly because when I stopped, I dug little holes even deeper into the snow. This is gonna be a learning experience for me. So basically my plan is every 16 inches on center, on the bottom it's gonna have a 2x4 going across it. The end cap of it is gonna be a pressure treated 2x6 where water could get there from the dripping edge. Then going up, I was going to do the A-frame with 2x3 to store it and have any. That'll also be 2x4 studs, which are very light. They're not pressure treated. Do 6 inches on center the whole way. We'll have a couple little cross pieces way up at the peak where you won't bump your head on it. So if I do a good job, I'm going to go buy windows for the ends of it. Just cheap storm windows. Doesn't need to really be much because this is a non-insulated truck. I don't ever plan on insulating it. That wood stove bakes it that time of year. And if you're sleeping in here in the summer or at night, it don't matter. Nice and cool. So I'm not going to cut any of the trees. I like the overgrowth, although I'm going to make a tunnel here going to the door. These are sharp pricker bushes. I got to trim that with some trimmers I brought. I also brought my lawnmower. I want to trim a little bit around here so I can set up a ladder. I hope I brought enough tools. I brought circular saw. I brought chargers for my battery-operated impact driver, because this whole thing's gonna be done with screws, not nails. Now, how am I gonna get power for all that stuff? This is how, everyone. I bought this gigantic former military generator trailer, and it was really cheap on Craigslist. It has 3,000 hours on it. All right, that'll just get stomped into the ground over the next couple days. Made a little spot for a ladder to get up there, but I like the tree cover around here. The blackberries are so sharp, I had to cut that. So this did really well, actually, this roof, despite all the complaints in the comments. See, it's got a slight pitch, but in the middle of it, there's a beam that made it so it was no longer evenly distributed with snow. We're going to reuse this roofing on one side of the A-frame. I'll have to buy twice as much for the other side. And pressure treated wood on the edges because I want the tree cover staying close. I like that. And everyone said that that chimney was too high for proper ventilation. Well, now that we're raising the roof up, it'll be perfect. What do you think I can use all these cinder blocks for? We won't need them now. Maybe as a little walking path coming in. I also want to cut a hole with a ladder coming up into like a loft if I do a good job. Well, my trailer can only fit 8-foot lumber. I wanted a main carrying beam in the middle because I'm not doing trusses, I'm doing an A-frame. I bought 3 pieces of good, whatever you call the beam at the top, and we're just going to join them together with couplings. That's fine. We only need to do that for that one piece, really. Everything else is pretty even. We're going to do an equilateral triangle, so we don't really have to cut anything. We just have to angle it. I brought a miller saw, and since we'll be using loud power tools, I'll have ear protection, especially with the generator running the majority of the day. That'll be a good test for the generator before I bring it back to my house and service it next week. It sure is hot. I chose the wrong week for this. You heard that big noise? I'll show you what that was later. All right, everyone. When I originally put that roof on, I bought too many cinder blocks. We can extend this out further. Look at the cool pattern the corrugated roofing left. Is that from the galvanization or is that from the minerals in the concrete? Kind of cool. This is a little wiggly, but this will settle over a course of like a year. Thankfully, no mice. So I got to get this out of here and let it vent out for a little bit. The smell of mothballs is give you a headache. So inside, everything checks out, everything looks good. That's what the loud noise was if you heard it. These pillars with that 2x4 were holding up the roof in case of snow. Me walking around, got those things loose. They're jacks. I can use them somewhere else. I'm very lucky. I am so lucky that these jacks, look at that, it's still not stable. I'm so lucky that these metal jacks didn't break these mirrors. All these mirrors came with the truck. I put this in the middle because it's dipped, the roof of the truck, and it was acting like a funnel into little holes that are in the roof. That was to get it off, but that applied too much weight to the middle of the beam, and that's why I had those jacks inside. All right, let's clean up all this. All right, I'm gonna wait to sweep this off until afterwards because the 8-foot 2x4s will slightly overhang, giving me enough room to sweep it out of the studs afterwards because we're gonna be making more of a mess. All right, everyone, I got to the point where I need the generator and it's starting to get dark, so we're gonna wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna put a few members going from here to here just to strengthen that up a little bit, although the A-frame up top will make that stronger too. These here will also become much stronger once there's a little bit of a floor in here. I skipped this one because I'm gonna have to cut it about 3 inches shorter once I add a piece in there joining those. So also down here I have just enough pressure treated wood, needs another 4 feet on each end, and tomorrow's gonna go along fast. We'll need the generator first thing in the morning to get this project moving again. It'll really come together by tomorrow night. I think by tomorrow night we'll probably have all of the framing done. really hot out. I've been drinking, but I'm still getting a bit of a headache from the heat. I don't do well in the heat. I don't know why, but we got the beam up there. All right, everyone, it is 3 in the afternoon now, and I'm sweating my butt off. Been drinking a lot too. So this right here, the blocking I just put in, is what's preventing it from falling over now that the bracing's off. All right, I got the generator going again. I need to charge up the batteries. So I got 8 holes drilled. Now we gotta find those downstairs and drill them in the downstairs wood. We'll come back up, drop the bolts through, and secure everything. All right, everyone, I decided the wood wasn't necessary because we are through this really thick part that was hard to drill. Now I just gotta go around with my wrench to all of these and tighten them up. And as you tighten them up top, if you saw how that washer looked, it's going to sink into the wood so it can't spin at all. everyone, I'm almost done charging up some batteries. Using the microwave again. Alright, it's done. And finally take this off. All done for the night. Alright, so we accomplished all the framing. I put on the first 2 panels of roofing, put the ridge cap on the first part of it. I'll go show that to you in a moment. I honestly didn't eat earlier. I didn't want hot food because it was really hot today. Alright, this wood was really hard to get up here by myself. Gonna stain that, then once it cures after 24 hours, I can caulk around it. Can't do it first because the stain won't get behind the caulking. Okay, and just had some breakfast, made some French toast sticks that were defrosting all night. I got my crappiest clothes from when I was doing some reddish stain. But we're gonna be using black stain so I can reuse all this stuff. And the staining's all gonna happen outside. Leave in the comments if you think sometime I should maybe stain the inside. That'd probably look nice. Like, I mean, stain the ladder, maybe the opening. I'm not gonna stain all this stuff up here. I like how it's white. It makes it look more open. Now I still have to spray foam the very top so heat can't escape. They'll make it encapsulated upstairs. So, over here, good. Over this side, good. So, when I'm up here, now that it's daylight, I gotta look for any little crack of light that I may have missed. But I think I did a pretty good job, except a few areas have to go over twice because the gaps are pretty big. I was hoping that the straw would have been able to go at the end. It fits in here perfectly snug, but the hose could not go onto this. This is too small, the nozzle. Let's see if it works. You gotta hold it down right. But with this hose, I'm hoping I can easily spray foam the whole top. Hopefully I don't get it all over myself. Curve with another straw. It just dripped in my hair. Oh, come on. And it opened up a daylight area. I gotta get footage of outside of this thing when we're shaking it like that. But that's the suspension of the truck, which is really cool. The whole thing shakes. And you see it's when we're shaking it, you're not seeing a thing moving except a couple objects. And that's good because that shows the truck is strong. If there was swaying of the walls at all, that would be kind of dangerous. We'd have to reinforce something, put studs downstairs, but it's an old truck, strong. I'm liking it. With a steep roof, I don't think snow, anything's gonna be an issue. I'll show you guys all the electric components once we're done. All right, everyone, here's what I came up with. This is a plug that can be plugged into a generator or my big power bank. The power bank has a safety on it, so if you overload it, it'll shut off like a breaker. It has a limit of 400 watts, which is quite a few LED light bulbs that are 100 equivalent. So that can be plugged into a big power bank that I have that has solar panels. You let it run all day, it'll fill up all the way in the summertime. Then that comes up here into the conduit. I did conduit downstairs because everything's metal. It just made sense. I didn't have an offset thing. I was actually bent by hand. Not too bad. Over here, it comes into a plug. The entire system in here is GFCI protected, just in case something does get wet. Then it comes on over here to two switches. This switch right here, when that gets turned on, is going to turn on the light right above it, right above our table space, right here where we typically cook when we're here with the stove eating. And there's also going to be a light above the door that I didn't put in yet, but I'm going to run the wire through the ceiling, not more conduit. Then it's just going to be a metal box in the ceiling with another keyless light. Keyless light just means it doesn't have a pull cord. It's controlled by a switch. Right here's a three-way. Can turn it on down here, walk upstairs, shut it off, come back down, turn it on, either way. So it goes up here through the ceiling. Once it gets up through the ceiling, everything's done more residentially, not commercially. It comes up here to this box where there is a electrical plug that'll be on all the time despite the position of the downstairs switch. There's the other three-way. The wires go upstairs and it goes through nice and neatly. I'll go up there in a moment. So in order to do that, we needed 3 hot wires, one that's always hot and the 2 that are switched, the traveler wires. And because we needed another one, you see, I colored in one of them black. For anyone that could be working on this in the future knows that that white wire was repurposed as a hot. lights on yet. We got power in here. All right, let me take this off so I can talk at a normal level in here. It's not as loud in here. Let's see. I hope this GFCI is not broken, because sometimes we replace them because they're broken, but I'm hoping it works. Let's go. Oh, the light turned on upstairs. Look at that. We got lights. Nice. What about downstairs? Whoa. Nice. Look at that. Got another light over here. Awesome. Generator power. But during our next camping video, we'll have this place running on solar. All right, see this? On, off. Turn it on downstairs. Whoop. Walk upstairs. Should go to sleep. And from upstairs, we can shut the upstairs back off. Nice. Awesome. I'll show it to you guys again at night. You know, one thing I love about generator power, when the machine shuts off, the lights slowly brown out. Watch this. I'm gonna go shut it off. Well, that was a little quicker than I thought, but maybe if it was running full throttle, it would have browned out a little slower. Wow, it feels so weird having power in here. Just shutting the door a bit so it's not as loud in here. While we got the generator, we don't have that 400 watt limit. Might as well make use of it. All right. Cook some lasagna. I bought this about an hour ago at the store, so it's not the frosted like the food we made the other day. Large solar panels that plug into this power bank, and I wired the whole building so it's powered by this. So we just go ahead and plug that into the power bank, hit the AC button, it's now on, 100% charged the battery. Now we're gonna see how fast this drops, and if it does drop, we got regular camera lights for tonight. See, it goes into that conduit. Over here, the whole system is GFCI protected. Our maximum wattage we can use on the power bank is 400 watts, meaning you can't plug a microwave in, you can't plug anything in over 400 watts or it'll tell that thing to shut off. The smoke coming out of this camp does look pretty cool. That got going real good. Look at that. Amazing. And we're burning completely clean. Less than 10 minutes of operation. Some people like it really thin. Some people really like you to glob it on. I think that's a pretty fair amount of sauce. I use foil to cover the whole thing. I think that'll work best. This one's nice. It's starting to actually crisp up the crust, but I don't think the pepperoni will get to the point where it's going to curl. But it's nice and warm. It is cooked. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That is actually very hot. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this down without possibly wrecking the counter. No. Let's put it right there. Let that cool down for a little bit before I eat it. Now it's time for this, which I don't want to put it on it. I think it'll burn it. I'll just leave it here. Probably going to take 2 or 3 hours, but better than nothing. It's entertaining messing with the fire. All right, I just went around, grabbed it with the pot holder. I just flipped everything because it is already starting to crisp to my amazement. And over here, look how much heat this thing's producing. 118 degrees, or about 48 Celsius. I bet these brownies are gonna be warm. Even this jar, it's too hot to hold on to indefinitely. And right here by the ceiling, that's hot enough to burn you. I need more ventilation in there. I opened the back door just for now. Look at this. Jack's cheese corn twists. Even the license plate says Jack's. That's so cool. Hasn't been on the road since 1992. I did that in 5 minutes. This will be done, I think, in 20. Plus, we're revving it up. Look at that. Ah, it just shut off. I have a security light there and the door's open. Ah, that is terrifying. The security light keeps turning on. It's just a tree branch. All right, we got some good night lights now. Nice. Whoa, look at that. Perfect. Those will run for a good 4 hours on those candles. The heat's drying them out. The covers on the jack-o'-lanterns have rapidly shrunk. But that's okay. We'll leave these outside for some animal can eat them when we leave. So this off-road jack is pretty cool. You wouldn't be pushing a normal floor jack like this across terrain like this. So I expect I'm going to use a lot of these to reinforce the truck. Take a look at this. And also if I did have to get under there, which I'm not going to get under there. I'm just going to slightly lift it up so we can jam bricks under there and put it back down on them. I do have these big jack stands, which I believe are for like a semi-truck or something. I found them free on the side of the road years ago. After someone died, they threw out like the whole garage of this person's house. But look, the bumper's all almost completely on the ground, and there is a piece of actual solid frame coming back here. The one concern about this is the frame is in the middle. This thing here, whole truck, is about maybe 6.5 feet, but the frame itself is only in the middle half, so that makes it very wobbly. Now, if it did fall off its existing bricks, as you can see, it wouldn't be able to fall more than a couple of inches. So that being said, I don't think it would ever tip over. Some people were saying that this thing looks way too top heavy. I don't think it is. I've seen sheds that don't have foundations. They're just on cinder blocks, be just as tall. So what are we looking at if we kneel down? Okay, the leaf spring is very rusty. You wouldn't want to put a brick under the leaf spring only because that's going to make it more bouncy. This thing already bounces a lot, even though it's on cinder blocks, because the front of it still has tires. Oh my gosh, it's lifting the truck. At first I didn't think it was working. The front wheels of the jack sunk in the ground. But it's okay. We're lifting. Now the only thing about a jack like this, ideally I would have liked to get it from the back, because as it's lifting, it's slowly pulling the whole rig towards me. So I don't want to jack it that much. It's not down yet, but here we go, more. All right, all the weight is on that now. Do you think this thing can lift literally this whole side of the truck? Because that would make it a lot easier if it does, just by a smidge. Will I be able to lift the whole truck? It's still sinking into the ground under the truck's weight. Oh my gosh, it's working! The whole half of the truck, not even the corner. Yeah, we're going up. Good, powerful jack. So like half the truck's weight is on this jack. I'd say this jack is almost maxed out, but it handled it without any issues. So while it's up, I might try to jam something under the front, but the truck right now is noticeably crooked a bit just because of this. So I'm gonna try to cram some stuff under here. But even if that jack failed, it's just gonna go down an inch back onto those bricks. Despite them being so crooked, I don't think that they would just topple over or anything. Here we go. Come on down. Ooh. Is it on it? Yeah. Oh, whoa, look at the cinder blocks. You can really see them sink. Oh my gosh, this truck is heavy. Wow. Okay, those sunk enough that it's on them and the old bricks. Let's hope that's good enough. The jack's going slow, but it's not struggling. Okay, we're off of every single support that I put in, the old stuff. A couple more pumps. Let's do some work, make this thing stable. Then we'll go to the other side again. This jack's heavy, so I want to get everything perfect on this side, so I don't have to keep going back and forth with it. All right, it's jacked up again a good amount. I think this will be okay. Yeah, oh yeah. We're already a lot more stable. That's just slightly touching it is actually doing a lot. Good. When that settles, this thing should be stable by the next time we camp here, especially with the rain softening up the ground tomorrow. Today, actually. All right, let's get the jack out of here. Bring everything to the other side again. Try to get that done. We made a pretty dominant trail going around here now. Yeah, it still shakes a little, but it actually improved stability a lot by having those columns just lightly touching the body of the truck. You can see it's noticeably a couple inches higher off the ground, the back end anyways, but I have always noticed the back end was lower because we're on a slight hill. So now the truck's actually a lot more level and a lot more stable, it being a few inches higher. Something I might do here now that I'm seeing, so this is a good idea for taking the weight. This is a good idea for the edge. What I could do potentially when I come back, I honestly don't think I have to do anything, but what might make it better is have this stack of bricks, have another stack of bricks here, and maybe order like a 4x8 beam that would go all the way through here. You'd see it there and just completely hold the body and kind of maybe ignore that a bit. I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Now I got to clean this up and get back on the road.